Hello you lot, this is KeefCooks, I'm Keef, and today I'm going to show you how to make sourdough pizza. Two, in fact. One is pepperoni and the other one is ham, mushroom and mascarpone. Yes. So a few weeks ago I had a request from Simon Templar, people of a certain age will know what that means, asking that I do a review of frozen pizza. And I thought, yeah, but no, because I don't eat frozen pizza, not knowingly. And no particular reason, it's just I can make a very good pizza all on my own. So I thought, yeah, maybe I'll have a go. I had a look in the supermarket at their frozen pizzas and it went on and on and on and on, honestly. Millions of them, different flavours, different manufacturer's own brand, fancy brand, I don't know. And well, I bought two with my eyes closed. It's like, you know, one of them. And we had them, they were nice. Okay, so Simon, that's a review. And then I thought, it's been a long time since I made a pizza video, and in fact I've never done one using sourdough, which is my new obsession. So I thought, yeah, we'll do that, we'll go for that. And I have no idea why I chose those two toppings. Actually, most pizzas are like tomatoey, cheesy, and I thought I'll try and do, I fancy something that isn't that. So the mascarpone one, well, it's slightly cheesy, but there's no tomato in it whatsoever. Anyway, and I do think that pizzas are better if you don't have more than 3 ingredients in them, and especially if none of those ingredients are pineapple. So there you go. All right, if you enjoy this video, give it a like, share, subscribe, become a patron, make a donation, all of those things. Come on, I'm desperate. And without further ado, let's make pizza. Now, to make the dough, you're going to need 227 grams of starter, that's 1 cup, okay? 300 grams of strong white bread flour, a teaspoon of salt, up to 150 ml of water, warm water. Basically, what I'm saying is just enough water to make it come together, and a bit of a cheat, half a teaspoon of active dried yeast, and that's because I want to get this done today, not tomorrow. Right, the starter's a bit fizzy, I'm just going to give it a stir. Then we pour out a cupful of the starter. Now I've got the bowl from the stand mixer and I'm weighing out the flour, 300 grams, 298 grams, a teaspoon of salt and half a teaspoon of active dried yeast. I will just give those a quick mix together. Then we'll add the starter, whack it on the mixer and mix it all together with the paddle attachment. Just for about a minute or so, and then we'll start adding the water, and just be careful you don't add too much. Alright, that's come together in a ball and we've got quite a bit of water left, so yeah. I'm going to scrape that off the paddle attachment. Swap it for the dough hook and just knead that for about 5 minutes. Ooh, look at that. I'm going to transfer it to this glass bowl. Just oil it a bit so the dough doesn't stick. And pop the dough in there, and then we'll leave this covered in a warm place until it's doubled in volume, which will probably take between 2 and 4 hours. We'll need some tomato sauce for the pepperoni pizza base, and I was going to use half a can of peeled chopped tomatoes, of which we normally have an abundance, but actually we haven't got a single can of tomatoes in this kitchen at this time. How shocking is that? So I have got actual tomatoes, so that's okay. I'll show you how to do it with actual tomatoes. And first thing to do with these is peel them. So, quick, easy way to do that is cut across in the bottom of the tomato skin, not too far into the flesh. And you want some boiling water. Pop those in this bowl. Cover it with boiling water and let it stand 15 seconds. I saw a YouTube video where this Italian chef claimed that you could microwave them for 30 seconds and that does it. Not with my microwave, it doesn't. So maybe he's got a special catering one. Was anybody counting? I wasn't, but I reckon that's enough time. So we'll hoik them out into cold water. Just let them chill for a little bit. And then the skin peels off quite easily. Okay, let's get rid of the skin and crush, mince, marmalise the garlic. And then I want to chop these basil leaves, so I'll just roll them up and thinly slice that roll. Okay, over to the stove. Actually, it'd be a good idea to chop the tomatoes fairly small before we cook them. Okay, we're heating a good glug of extra virgin olive oil in a saucepan. Then pop the garlic in. And let that cook for about a minute, don't let it burn. Now add the chopped tomatoes and their juice. And then a tablespoon or two of tomato puree, tomato paste. And let that cook 5-10 minutes. Well, it doesn't seem to be in a hurry to break down, so I'll give it some help with the old tatey masher. I guess you could use a stick blender, but I can't be bothered to get it out. And then we'll add the basil and some oregano and some ground black pepper. Let those cook through, add salt if you think it needs it, and also add a teeny bit of sugar if the tomatoes are too bitter. I think it's okay for salt, but definitely needs a bit of sugar. So I'm going to add some brown muscovado sugar because that'll give it a nice deep flavour. Okay, that's just about right, maybe a bit of salt. So the first pizza is essentially cheese, mushroom and ham. And the cheese that you need is the kind you can hide a horse behind. Mascarpone. Also some ham, smoked for preference, and a large portobello mushroom, which needs to be sliced and sautéed in olive oil, so we'll do that now. Fairly clean example. So slice it fairly thickly, about 1/4 of an inch, 5mm. So heat up a good glug of olive oil in your frying pan and pop a bit of mushroom in when it starts to bubble around the edges. Put about probably half the mushrooms in. We'll need to do this in 2 batches. Do it very carefully because we do want to try and maintain their shape without them breaking. When you think it's done one side, turn it over carefully and cook the other side. You're just looking for a little bit of browning along the edges. Not too much, but just enough to colour them a bit and to get rid of the water in the mushrooms, which would make the pizza dough soggy. When they're done, take them out, drain them on kitchen paper, and then put your second batch in. So that's our bits of prep done, and here's our pizza dough. Double in volume? I reckon, maybe. Just about. Took 4 hours anyways. Right, flour on the worktop. Actually, any plain flour. Not wasting the expensive stuff. Did you know you can actually make your own bread flour using ordinary plain flour, all-purpose flour, and you can buy gluten, which is added to ordinary flour to make it more stretchy and more suitable for making bread. I'm sorry if you can't tolerate gluten, but I think I might try it because you know bread flour is quite a lot more expensive than plain flour. Oh yeah, it smells great. So I'll just take half of it, just give it a little knead and a little spread. I'm actually going to do the pepperoni one as a sort of thin and crispy crust. Now I've lined my pizza pans with greaseproof paper, and I'm going to sprinkle flour on that, and then spread out the dough. This is going to be the thin and crispy pepperoni one. I knew somebody who was a chef in a pizza restaurant once, and he showed me this technique where you sort of whiz it in the air and you roll it around your knuckle and everything. And he could do it brilliantly, and as you just saw, I can't. We'll come back to that when I've done it. Okay, the rolling pin. It's not cheating if it works. Yay. So I'm going to let that sit for 15 minutes to just fluff up a little bit. It's a good idea to oil the dough while it's resting, rising, puffing, whatever. Right, time to assemble the pepperoni one. I've just had a slice of this pepperoni and it's hot. Nice though, like it. Okay, you need your oven hot. So, well, I've got it 200 for a fan oven convection oven, that's 220 for a conventional one, that's gas 7. You might want to do it even hotter than that. So for this one we want the pizza sauce painted all over the base. Then we'll arrange pepperoni. And then scatter mozzarella as evenly as you can across the top, but don't cover everything, leave some gaps for it to breathe. Does that make sense? And that goes in the oven for 10 to 12 minutes. Oh yeah. Okay, time to assemble the other one. So I've got the mascarpone. I'll only use about half of this probably. That's 250 gram pot. So 125 grams of that. And we'll just arrange some ham around the edge of the pizza. I've got it folded up quite thick so you get a nice chunky bite kind of thing. And then a bit of mushroom in between each one. I could maybe have done more mushroom for that, but guess what? I didn't. Right, so I'm going to whack that in the oven for 5 minutes, and then I'm going to take it out and I'm going to put some mozzarella on it as well. It's kind of puffed up in the middle. I'll put some cheese on that and around the edge. Okay, that go back in for, I think, actually more like 10 minutes. Alright, 8 minutes. And that looks a bit fantastic. So we'll see if we can scrape it off onto the wire rack. I'll just let it cool down for a few minutes and then we'll take its photo and then we'll do a taste test. And now it's taste test time with Mrs. KeefCooks. Yay. Hello.
Hello.
Regal purple again. Pizzas.
Yeah. I already know this is fantastic because we've already had some. This is so good, and that I really like that pepperoni because it's not hot. It's tangy and it's yummy.
So this one.
Yeah.
I haven't tried this one. This
quite
is
different.
mascarpone.
You know a joke about that, don't you?
We've done it.
See?
Mushroom and ham, crinkly ham.
Oh yeah. Because we had a ready-made pizza the other day, and they put their signature white sauce on the paste on the dough before adding the rest of it. So I did mention this to you, didn't I? So yeah, mascarpone. Different, but again, that whiteness.
That's fantastic. Well, it's more like a sauce than a cheese.
I prefer spice over richness.
Okay, nice. Sourdough pizzas. Make them. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.